You should see our strong commitment to democratic values. You should see how strong our people are fighting. They're giving up our lives for Ukraine, for nation, for our children, for the future. It is not a coincidence that I talked to my mother on February 23rd, the last day we had peace in Ukraine. And she told me, Christina, do not be afraid for my life. Do not be afraid for our family. Please, be afraid for our nation. We are fighting for Ukraine. We are going to the end to support Ukraine. And now, all of the world is observing Ukrainian heroes. And we are here today to say that we want peace. Ukraine wants peace. The people of Ukraine wants peace. All world is calling for peace in Ukraine. Please listen to us. Ukraine needs your support, your hearts, your voices. The world and Europe's fate is being decided now in Ukraine. Please raise your support, raise your voice, support strict economic sanctions. Step with the US choice to be with us on the side of truth and righteousness. Ukraine needs a clear sky to prevent Russian air forces attack on our civilians. There are many things that I want to say about Ukraine. I am proud of Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine! Slava Ukraini!
Slava Ukraini! Slava! Long live free Ukraine! Long live Ukraine!
Dear Ukrainians, dear friends of Ukraine, it is with a very heavy heart that I'm addressing you today. My heart is hurting because a madman, Putin of Russia, has viciously attacked my motherland, Ukraine. Why is he killing Ukrainians? It's because Ukrainians love their country, their language, their culture. It is because Ukrainians are patriots, because Ukrainians feel very close to European and American values and laws, because Ukrainians want to be independent and decide their fate for themselves. Ukrainians refuse to be under Putin's Russia's control. As I'm speaking, Ukrainian soldiers and Ukrainian civilians are fighting the aggressor. Our country is bleeding because of a madman's ambition to restore great Russia. But hear this, no country is great if it invades, manipulates, and takes advantage of other countries and people. What great Russia? You cannot make others love you by force. Russians came to our land, they're spilling our blood. To do what? To make Ukrainians love Russia better? To make Ukraine a neutral country? How can Ukrainians ever like Russia if Putin's army is defacing Ukraine's land with bombs? How can Russians ever look straight in the eyes of Ukrainians after starting this war? Great Russia? Where is it? Putin has just shown how cruel and barbaric Russia is. Russian oligarchs, they like drinking French wine. They like spending vacation in Florida. And they definitely like having their money in US dollars. Yet they think that they are smarter than Americans. What great Russia? I think the only Russia I see is the one that deserves to be denigrated for the complacency and apathy of many regular Russians and for cruelty and evil of Russian leadership. Putin has to be stopped. Many people are saying we want war to stop in Ukraine. But I would like to talk about the price of peace. If the price of peace is to tear Ukraine apart to appease Putin, if the price of peace is to kill Ukrainian patriots and let Russia put a puppet government, then Ukrainians will continue to fight. We need to stop Putin. Putin is the emperor without his clothes. He's a topless guy on a lonely horse. I call on the US government. I call on the US people, on all the friends of Ukraine. Please help Ukrainians fight off Putin. Send your prayers, but also send arms, send volunteers, send help. Together we stand strong. Long live free Ukraine! Slava Ukraini!
Hi everyone. Well, I'm not public speaker. I used to do engineering, and it looks like when you see scientists making talk, you talk about stem cells, treatment cancer, and so on. Because life used to be expensive for decades. But I'm afraid that in the future, scientists will talk about missiles, bombs, and all like this. And very unfortunate. But I want to start with something different. And I want to recall, 1999. Yeah, I'm from Ukraine, but I was a student in Moscow, in Russia. And I remember that time. It was a time when Putin was appointed as prime minister, and it was a time when people in Moscow wake up or don't wake up because of the explosions, because of some unknown terrorist used to make explosions. I remember how you sleep and wait, will you, and hear this explosion. And you didn't know what's going on. But I remember about months later, in my dormitory, I washed my window, and there are news, radio news. And it stated, and Putin told that, okay, it is Chechenian terrorists who made this explosion, so we should invade Chechnya, and so on. And you know what happened next. And I was 18 years old at the time, but I realized what's going on. And I realized that if this person can kill his own people, explode them nightly, he can do anything. Everything. And you know what happened next, but you asked me, okay, you understood, so what you did? And unfortunately, I did nothing. And frankly speaking, we all did nothing or very little since we are here today. Isn't it? Really little. And, well, it looks like life was going on. Like, I left Russia, left Ukraine after the time. I was settled here, I got married. Of course, when I visited Russia, I saw the footprints of propaganda. I saw that people around are getting more and more problematic to talk with them. They are really influenced by this. But I should tell you that even when this story in Ukraine started many years ago, in 2014, when Crimea was captured, it still looked like, well, we live in 21st century, somehow it will be resolved. And people over the world assume it's something wrong. But I tell you, life has changed for everyone 5 days ago. February 22nd, it's really something new. But people realize that you are 80 years back. That again, treatments, negotiations means nothing. What is important are cheating and bombs and brute force. That's it again is that one. And of course, it was very drastic day when we saw this invasion. When I listened to the speech of Putin to nation. But even that time, I realized that it's something similar I have heard about. And I posted on my Facebook. I posted speech of Adolf Hitler of September 1st, 1939. Compare, please. It's in all language, word by word, sentence by sentence. Very similar. It's defensive talk that he should invade Poland to defend Germany from Britain and so on. Well, and for a long time people thought, okay, well, don't compare Putin with Hitler because, like, well, it's I don't like dramatized situation. Well, but now it's time to compare. For a long time people thought, okay, that Putin he's like a good Hitler. Like good Hitler, like he likes Jews. He does not initiate wars. He's just authoritarian dictator. Well, good Hitler was before some time. Really, what happened? We are coming to a new war. And well, then you may ask, why I say September 1st, 1939? It was the start of so-called Polish-German War. Do you know about Polish-German War? In your textbook you will not find it. In the historical, you learn about Second World War. So it is with all the. Do we talk about Third World War now? Well, I hope not, but we should do something to stop it, because really what is happening now is not Ukrainian-Russian conflict, believe me. And there are three scenarios. And the idea of Putin was really, and believe me, if Ukraine collapsed in a couple of days, he would go and continue. He would never stop. He's really crazy person. You may see, he's crazy. This did not happen. Ukrainians already survived and resist and can win and hopefully will win. You will see. But what happens now is that Ukraine fights itself for this time. Putin declared that he does not fight with Ukraine. He fights with America, with West world, how he called empire of lies, how he called it, with entire world in Ukraine. That's what he's doing. And that it is. But you should also realize that while it was really a disaster what happened a couple of days ago. It was really very pessimistic day for us. But now today it looks like I'm more optimistic because you see what's happening. Ukraine is resisting and Russian army is demoralized. They don't want it. So it's real. Now there is a chance. There is a chance to overthrow Putin. Believe me, right now. But he's very smart. If you wait, well, because he's in panic now. He's hysteric. He didn't expect what's going on. It's first time he didn't expect. But if you wait, if this conflict will be somehow artificially resolved and people wait, he will find another way. He's very smart. It's time to overthrow him. Believe me. And that's the point. And like we distinguish Hitler from Germany, we should distinguish Putin from Russia. You cannot occupy the entire. I'm not very pessimistic now. When I see videos with thousands of killed Russian soldiers, just children like 18, 19 years old, they said, and now they decompose, they assemble, they're burning bodies. Yeah, I'm happy because they came to kill people and they killed now. They will not kill anymore. But you should realize, you cannot defeat the entire Russia and occupy it. You cannot defeat Putin. And it should be distinguished. And you should realize, you should help Russian people to make new Russia. And I'm optimistic now because what happens these days, couple of last days, I remember 1991 when Soviet Union was collapsed. When actually it was a trial of military coup, but in 3 days army did not fight and it was now. And you know, after this time it was a idea that it's end of history. You know, there is a famous book, Francis Fukuyama book, End of History. It looks like all countries will be free, will go to democracy one by one now. And last week you were told that, well, he was wrong. We dropped 80 years back. But I hope he was not completely. I hope it's time now. You will have what happened in 1991, it was spoiled. It's our joint fault, West fault, East fault, because it was that idea about democratic revolution was spoiled. But we may have the second chance soon. If Putin is overthrown, it will be second chance for peace. Otherwise, it will be really bad time for everyone. Believe me, it will be really bad time for everyone. So that's and all these days when I a lot of people worldwide, Americans in other countries, they called me, they told nice words, and they say how you can help you, what to do. So that's what we are here to say. That we should do something. We should do something because believe me, it's crucial time now. And many years later, your grandchildren will ask you, what did you do in February 2022? It's key point. What did you do? In which side you were, or most likely, were you neutral? And I tell you frankly, I'm not in Ukraine now. I'm here, I didn't drop my job, but I try to do something. And I want you to do something as well. Like people here discuss what can be done by governments and by people. Right? Remember the classical story of John Kennedy? He told that, what can you do for your country? Don't say what country does for you. Now it's time to say, what can you do for Ukraine? Not for Ukraine, not for the sake of Ukraine, for your future, for your world. Believe me, if Ukraine collapses, this will happen here, maybe next year, maybe in 20 years. It will happen. It will happen. So it's time to do something. What you can do? Let's see. The nations, first thing you can do. Ukraine needs money and it will need money later. But key point, just organize. If you cannot help yourself, talk to your neighbors, your friends. I see there are many international students from worldwide. Just come back home, talk to them. If you don't donate, maybe they donate. If you cannot influence on your government, maybe they have this influence. Something can be done. Something can be done. Really, do something. You will find the way. And like the key point happens here, Ukraine needs weapons. Ukraine needs some medical supplies. Ukraine needs money. And key point, sanctions on Russia. Yes, many people say that sanctions are really quite light. Okay, but they are there, and let's impose more.
crucial moment now. And everyone who is here now, everyone who supports Ukraine today, you're my friend. Thank you. I want you to understand, to realize that for all of us it matters what's happening in Ukraine now. It is not a faraway conflict. It is happening here and now. I want to talk about those who are not alive anymore. I want to talk about real heroes who are dying for Ukraine. We know that in Ukraine, everyone, I will say one more time, everyone is doing best to their abilities. Civilians stop tanks with bare hands. Skakun Vitalik, by the cost of his own life, stop the aggressor. You know about these stories. You see the stories. They are real. It's not a movie. It's happening right now. Does it make you feel like, don't we live in the crazy world? Isn't it crazy? Did the world go insane? I would say maybe yes, but we are together and we know what is right. We are here today and to express our support to Ukraine. We stand with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
I'm from Kiev and my family is in Ukraine. My son is fighting now. Okay. So he is kind of in medical unit, but he's on the field. So his job is to go pick up wounded people, stabilize them, and send to hospital. My daughter-in-law and two grandkids refused to go to abroad, to Western country, when they were proposed by friends. They said, we cannot go when our country is fighting here. So my daughter-in-law today was cooking for Ukrainian army every day. Her mother and brother living like 20 miles from Kiev, and yesterday huge troops of Russian were moving towards Kiev. They helped to move, like coordination will fight. I don't know how to say this exactly. They helped the guys who were trying to destroy this Russian weapon, this moving machine. So that I don't know. I don't know what this military words to say. My parents and my mother, who barely can move, help refugees now. So Ukraine is fighting. Everybody is fighting now. So Ukraine is not like sitting or waiting. Yes, they need your help, especially medics, and what I know, our hospital lacks of that. But they not like defense and thinking that somebody will do job for us. We do. I want. It's not my words. I read in internet somewhere, but I can say under each word of this. I have never hated in my life. I have never before in my life hated so much as now. I have never in my life before was proud as much as now. And I have never in my life was praying as much as now. My day starts with pray, finish with pray, and pray over there for all kids, not only for my son. And thank you for listening, thank you for support. I hope everything will be okay for my country and for all of it. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Well, Lieutenant, I'm an associate professor here on the Ethical campus. I have lived in Morgantown for more than 10 years, and I left Ukraine in late 90s, thinking I was the citizen of the world. I'm very happy to have that opportunity to live in different countries. I live in Canada as well, and I'm a citizen of Canada and of the United States. And I always thought, Ukraine, mother countries, on the right track. There was a lot of positive development for decades now. The democratic